Good morning, Vegas. Good morning, D. Derek, the man, Anderson. And then there's Nippy and Shy Shy. Nothing introverted about that guy when you meet him in person. A real quick question for you guys. Well, it's sort of a question joke. Darth Vader. Darth Vader. Some of you know who that is. How does Darth Vader like his toast cooked? Darth Vader. How does he like his toast cooked? What do you think? If you're Darth Vader, how would you want your toast cooked? Michael Groove thinks it's on the dark side. That's correct. A little on the dark side. That's really funny. Okay. What do you call a sleeping bull? So you're a bull and you're asleep. What does somebody think you might be? Sleeping bull? Oh, God. If you're a sleeping bull, what are you? You're not a tractor. Could be a bulldozer. You just might. Just might. Could be. You might be a bulldozer. Oh. How's this guy looking? Let's take a look at him. Okay. Why should you always knock on a refrigerator door before opening it? I'm ready to open a refrigerator now. Why is that an always smart thing to do? Because there might be a salad dressing. You don't want to interrupt the salad, okay? Padgy has penguins in his refrigerator. You don't want to interrupt the salad, do you? I'm ready to open the refrigerator now. Are you decent? Okay. Good morning, everybody. 43 people here, 20 likes. Is it the jokes? Are they that bad this morning? If you think they're bad, I got a couple more. Just one or two more. Ready? I'm going to give you one or two more. That's why I'm doing it. I need more likes, though. The jokes are so bad. That's what they're supposed to be. So bad, they're good. Why did the leaf? Badge, it's got to be the jokes. Badgie, why did the leaf go to the hospital? Go to the doctor. Why did the leaf go to the doctor? We're gonna cover leaves later today. Because he was feeling green. I feel kind of greenish. I'm gonna go to the hospital. How about this one? Oh boy, if you... pigs are smart, right? Pigs are intelligent creatures. We know this. Anatomically, they're very, very close to humans, Homo sapiens. Michael, they're getting worse. I promise to get worse before I get better. Uh, what what would you call a pig who knows karate? I mean, besides smart. What do you call a pig who knows karate? Derek Anderson calls him up. Pork chop! Hiya! Pork chop! No, it's chop suey if it's a Chinese pig. If it's an Asian, if it's a pig from Asia. Okay? I would call him Bruce Lee. Personally, I would call him Bruce Lee. What's your pig's name, Bruce? Why? Wait for later. Wait till you see him with a gi on. Okay. All right. We're gonna end with one more thing. One more. Llama. This is a good one here. Okay? This is gonna be a good one. I hope. Why do ducks? Think about it for a second now. Why do ducks have feathers on their tails? Simple. They have to cover their butt quacks. They're covering their butt quacks, okay? All right. That's enough for the jokes for today. Okay? Thanks. You could use that one later. You have my permission to use that for the rest of today and pretend it's yours. Okay? I saved it for last. There's no way that's not the best one of the day. That one, like, babe, that was a good one. I have a list of them. I made a whole list this morning. Sling, you can tell that one to the kids. Tell it to the kids immediately. Okay? Ego, don't go there. So, who's won so far this week? We've had a lot of winners. Slingblade won. I Losty won. Holly M won. West Smoke won. SSW won. All of those people, Kim, I am dying over here. I'm cracking myself up, like you mentioned. I can't believe that one. I was looking at them this morning. I was like, give me a couple of joke of the days. And I'm like, this one right here, I need my bell. Okay. I lost He won on Tuesday, but then yesterday, Roy Coates gave him a prize, and then I lost. He wrote to me and he says, you know what? I don't really feel like I should get two this week, Pops. Can I give the one that Roy Coates gave me away today on the show? And I said, of course. And so I lost is here right now, and he's going to give away the prize that Roy Coates got in the mail that went to I Lost that's now going to go, I Lost you're up. I told him to please give, and what is it that he's giving away? What is it that he's going to give away this morning? He's going to give away what was in the box that I had sent to Roy Coates originally. I was sending him a Pops 10-pack of capsules, microdose capsules, 200 milligrams each of Pure Ghost. And thank you for reminding them, Penny. They need more reminding. And this is a little over 2 grams of Ghost, of our pretty little Ghost. So it's these two things that I lost. He is going to try to give away here to you guys. Okay? So, I lost are you on? Is he here doing that? Is he in the midst of the giveaway? Good morning to my friend Penny Pack. Hi, Penny. Oh, look at Mom saying Hags and a love. You're so cute. Is I lost you on here? I think so. Oh, Badgie, are the ghosts the kill or what? But you know what's good right now too is the iceberg. Boop. These iceberg are, they make your boat float. That's for sure. What happened? I lost you. I know he was on here. Okay, he's supposed to be giving us things, this situational away. Okay. Good morning, Laura. What a divine day. Okay, so here's what's going to happen now. Maybe he got lost. I think he got lost. Sounds good, Badgie. Give us a report, too. I love my friend Badgie, by the way. You guys should know that. You haven't seen Losty yet this morning? Is that true? I thought I did see him. I lost my iPad. Nobody has seen him here this morning? Is that a true statement? Hey, it's so consistent. We're getting, okay, Niffy, you haven't seen him. Okay. I thought he would be here because he wanted to do this game to give away his thingy situational. I'll hold on to it, okay? In the meantime, let's get somebody else qualified. We're going to give 2 things away today, okay? 2. Well, one's going to be what we've been giving away all this week, and then we're also going to get, hey, did you guys see the fruit that was going around at the beginning of the show? We're giving that away today. So hold on. Let's get some people. Let's get some spin to winnies. Okay, this is going to be a true false. Okay, true false. Now, if you've spun this week already and I see your name, I have a whole list of everybody that has spun this week and has won this week. I might skip past you and try to get somebody new. I might. We'll see what happens. I can read pretty fast as it goes. If it's somebody that's just been winning regularly, like every single week, I want to see us spread it around a little bit. Even if you've won recently. I love to see you play, but I'd love to see you give too, right? There's only about 60 of us that show, 60, 70 show up here every day. If I give away 10 things a week, which is about our average, sometimes it's the same 10 people next week. Do you know what I mean? And then the week after, it's they'll say 10 people. Let's spread, okay? So here we go with the true false. I'm gonna get somebody onto the spin to win board. Excuse me. Okay. I'm gonna get somebody and the true false. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read 3 statements. You're gonna tell me if they're true or false. Tell me at the end of the 3rd statement, all on one line, just by using capital T or capital F, or it doesn't even need to be capital, just give me a T or an F, representing true or false for your answers. The first statement is, an oasis is found in a tundra. True or false? Second, the capital of Italy is Rome. True or false? And thirdly, the capital of Spain is Madrid. True or false? So we have a false, true, we have 3. We've got 3 to go here. I see a bunch of people at the very beginning that all had it pretty much correct. The answers are false, true, true. Alan, I see you on there, but I'm going to jump past you to King Metroplex. He's the next in line. Alan, you spun and won a couple of times last week or recently. Kingy has not. King, I'm putting you down as number 1 on the spin to win that we're going to do in a little bit. King Metroplex was number 1. The answers are an oasis is not found in a tundra. Number 2, the capital of Italy is Rome. That is true. And number 3, the capital of Spain is Madrid. That is true. So the answers were false, true, and true. And Drew's King was before you on my screen, and I don't like to be questioned. Okay, I'm going to do what I'm going to do here. People that question me, it sets off a trigger. All right, so I'm doing it the way I want to do it here. If I see your name, I will call you out. I mean, I will get you here. But King was in front of you. Okay, thanks, Drews. Here, let's do this next. Okay, next. While our bags that we inoculated we have many more things to do here. And Drews, don't worry about it. We still have a chance to get you qualified here. Sounds like you're a really sharp guy. So hang in there. You'll probably catch a spin spot here soon. Okay. We're going to do a little bit of teaching this morning, but it's reading together kind of a teaching. Okay. And we inoculated some bags. We're going to let those get a little bit of colonization, and then starting again next week, we'll get back to talking about how to put cakes together. We're going to pasteurize substrate. We're going to make liners, probably even make a tub. Talk about why the holes are where they are on a tub, the vent holes, etc. So next week we'll be back into constructing tubs. Today, for the purposes of being in nature, I'm reading this phenomenal book, among others. I read a lot of books at the same time. Does anybody do that? Does anybody I'll read about 4 or 5 chapters in one book, and then I'll put it down, another book. So by the end of a week, I'll probably have gotten through about 3 or 4 books. But I don't read the whole book all at one time. Rarely do I read sit down and I can go through, it keeps me, I bounce around, right, Shy? I don't know why. It's almost, I feel like when we're working out at a gymnasium, I'm hitting different stations. Does that make sense? I'm kind of hitting different stations. And I'm not necessarily suggesting that. Just read period and I'd be happy. But I'm reading, one of the books that I'm reading is called The Life of Trees. Too much information in the book, okay? There's a massive amount of information, but I found a really neat article that kind of boils some stuff down into never isn't it a great book? But trees to me are fascinating, and we have a responsibility, obviously. And I sort of missed mine because I never lived in the tree hugger time. I mean, I lived through Greenpeace and really the whole movement of tree huggers, etc. And I was always, those guys are kind of weirdos. And I avoided the tree hugger crowd and movement. And then I started microdosing. And microdosing really has got me in touch with nature in a way I never was before. I was more in touch with commerce. Commerce was more important to me than the green that was in my wallet. And how to make it was much more important to me than the green that was in nature. And I mean that. It's like, I look back and I'm glad I didn't waste the time because at least I'm set up to be able to do what I do now. But boy, I missed a lot of time. Trees fascinate me from one perspective, if nothing else. Physics. Time and our perception of time is so Homo sapien. There you go, Higgs. That's almost exactly where I was going, big guy. They're witnessing, and at the speed at which they witness things, and the interdependence that we have because of the oxygen carbon monoxide exchange between us and them, phenomenal. All of that. But here's where I'm in a metaphysical place, thinking about time. I'll give an example. Our dogs. Dogs don't really have a concept of time. Today is tomorrow as yesterday is to them. I watch very closely, Ruff. His only concept of time is for as long as somebody is missing from his sphere. As long as someone's not hanging out with him. That's the only time. Other than that, he doesn't keep track of, and food too. Yes, Sharon, that's like a pattern, a rhythm, like a biorhythm that they build up. And it's like, oh, so it's like 5 o'clock, my stomach starts getting hungry. But there isn't any other animal that has a watch. There isn't any other animal that started out with a sundial. There isn't any other, nothing else has a concept of time. And then if you take the things that live for a long time, like what lives for a really long time? A tortoise? Tortoises? Hags, they've been around a long time to witness a lot of history. You know the problem with the tortoise, though? They only see it from down at this ground level. They only can see it, and sometimes they're pulled into their shell and stuff. At least a tree, when it gets its view of history and time going by, it gets a high view. I'm pretty sure you guys are saying that Brock's birthday's today. I think it's tomorrow. I thought Brock's birthday was on the 19th, not the 18th. Now you guys are making me question. Did he tell you guys it was the 18th? Anderson, that's right. It's tomorrow. I'll have him come in at the end of today's show so you guys all can say hi to him. Okay? But I'm sitting here reading these and I'm like freaking out. Inside I'm like, what? Oh, wait, did I miss something? It's Pops. Kim, it's tomorrow. Yeah. Whew, thank you. I'm sitting here going, bad dad, bad dad. Okay. You guys are so sweet to even remember it. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sitting here going, what did I? Now, thanks for messing me up. I'm all feeling, no, like my expectations are not going to be met. And sometimes there's birthday pressure. Do you guys ever get birthday pressure? You know what I'm talking about? Especially if it's like your anniversary pressure is the worst, right? Isn't anniversary pressure like, can I just give if I feel like it, not because I'm supposed to? Why does it have to be that one day every year? Why don't I just bring roses every once in a while, right? Anniversary pressure is probably the worst. Birthday pressure gets pretty bad. Okay. Mark Zamarin, are you in Australia? Lately, you've been sounding like you hang out with Jesus Christ in Australia. Just saying. Trees. I can't even tell you guys how much I'm loving in trees. And I drive down the street and I think the speed at which they see us, scale-wise, Are we ants? You know how like you see a row of ants running down like say the porch or something? There's a whole row of scurrying ants, and we're pretty tall compared to an ant, you and me. So pretend we're the tree. Is that the speed? And when we look down at an ant and they're scurrying, is that the speed that a tree sees us moving at? I would argue no. I think it's even faster. I think we would look like ants going 1,000 miles an hour. Because look how fast we go from point A to point B, and a tree is just stuck there watching, and he might grow a leaf in about a month. Is any of this making any sense to you guys, or am I thinking too much? I am. I'm thinking too much. If I'm a tree, I don't see anything going. It's crazy. Who, MVP? Badge says they don't even see us. That could be, we could go by, like, you know how there's sound levels, hertz? Our dog can hear certain levels of sound and we can't. Maybe we're going by so fast at their speed, they don't even see us. That's a good one. Maybe, I think we're going by so fast, they don't even see us. That's a good one. But then what happens? They do see when a bird lands in it, don't they? Or you just felt it? CCS says they don't have eyes. I think they do. I think they see in their own sensory way. They don't have eyes with our same anatomical structure. They feel it long before it happens. It's just, think about it. I could be fishing for the rest of the day thinking nothing about the life of a tree. Moms, I love you right now. Did you see? She's the smartest girl in the room. Did you hear what she said? Do you have to have eyes to see? Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's really good. That's really good. So think about trees. Sometimes we have to stop thinking about ourselves. You know that. Sometimes I'm not that big a deal. You know what I mean, Streety? Sometimes I'm just not that big of a deal, but I like to know more about trees. So I'm going to read you an article about trees real quick. Give me 10 people that want an overview of how trees grow and develop. I have a little article about it. How trees grow and how they develop. It won't take long. It'll take about 10 minutes to read this little article. Science. It's a science article. Let's do this. Let's get it over with. Although a tree is common and familiar to all of us, how a tree grows and functions is a unique biology that is not so familiar. That was good, Kim. Shade us with knowledge. The interrelationship of all a tree's parts is very complex, and especially so is its photosynthetic properties. A tree begins life looking very much like every other plant you've seen. But give that seedling about a month, and you will begin to see a true single stem, tree-like leaves or needles, bark, and the formation of wood. It takes only a few short weeks to see a plant showing its grand transformation into a tree. Like everything else on Earth, ancient trees sprung up from the sea and are dependent on water. A tree's root system comprises the important water collecting mechanism that makes life possible for trees and ultimately for everything on the planet that depends on trees. Another fascinating part of the trees is the way the root structure holds the earth crust together. Woo! An important, it's going to say it right here, I think. An important biological function of the tree root system is the tiny, nearly invisible root hair. Root hairs are located just behind the hard, earth-probing root tips that burrow, elongate, and expand in search of moisture, while at the same time building a tree's ground support. Millions of those delicate, microscopic root hairs wrap around themselves and individual grains of soil as they absorb moisture along with dissolved minerals. A major soil benefit occurs when these root hairs grab soil particles. Gradually, the tiny roots reach out to so many particles of earth that the soil becomes firmly tied into place. The result is that the soil is capable of resisting the erosion of wind and rain, and it becomes a firm platform for the tree itself. Interestingly, root hairs have a very short life, so the root system is always in expansion mode. It grows to provide sustained maximum root hair production. To take full advantage of finding available moisture, tree roots run shallow with the exception of the anchoring taproot. The majority of roots are found in the top 18 inches of soil, and over half are actually in the top 6 inches of soil. The root and drip zone of a tree is fragile, and any significant disturbance close to the trunk can potentially harm a tree's health. Is this interesting to you guys? I only have a couple more. We're going to talk about the trunks, and then we're going to talk about the leafy crowns, if you want me to. This is pretty interesting. What we find out is those little root hairs are really the most important part of the whole deal. And they die as the root keeps going. These old ones, but they're holding stuff together. Squeezed all of the particles out of the soil. This guy keeps on going. More root hairs are going out, and you're looking for more. What's even more fascinating, other story part of it, is when this guy's root coming this way runs into this guy's root coming this way in the same forest. Who wins? Who decides? That's the whole mother tree thing. Pops cover that another time. A tree's trunk is critical for limb support and root to leaf nutrient and moisture transport. The tree trunk has to lengthen it and expand. Has to lengthen and expand. As the tree grows in its search for moisture and sunlight, a tree's diameter growth is done via cell divisions in the cambium layer of the bark. The cambium is comprised of growth tissue cells, and it's found just under the bark. You'll actually see it. If we had a cross section, you'd see it. It's like this little brown, almost film around the trunk, the wood part that starts getting the rings, and between that and the bark itself. That's where the Cambrian layer is, and the cell division is creating trunk expansion and trunk growth. Xylem and phloem cells are formed on both sides of the cambium and continually add a new layer each year. These visible layers are called annual rings. Cells to the inside make up the xylem, which conducts water and nutrients. In xylem cells, the fibers provide strength in the form of wood. The vessels allow water and nutrients to flow to the leaves. Cells on the outside of the ring. So you got a ring, right? There's an inside ring, a part to the ring, and an outside. And of course, it's going to start building another ring, another layer of cambium, right? So inside of the ring is, the xylem are on the inside, providing strength, and the phloem are on the outside, gathering more nutrients and stuff like that out of and off of the cambium layer and creating another ring. It's fascinating. The importance of tree trunk bark is to protect the tree. The bark itself, the importance of it cannot be overstated. Trees ultimately deteriorate and die due to damaged bark from insects, pathogens, and environmental damage. The condition of a tree trunk's bark is one of the most important factors affecting a tree's health. And finally, a tree crown. A tree crown is where most bud formation takes place. The tree bud is simply a small bundle of growing tissue which develops into embryonic leaves, flowers, and shoots, and is essential for primary tree crown and canopy growth. In addition to branch growth, buds are responsible for flower formation and leaf production. A tree's small budding structure is wrapped in a simple protecting leaf called a cataphyllus. These protected buds allow plants to continue to grow and produce tiny new leaves and flowers, even when environmental conditions are adverse or limiting. So a tree's crown is that majestic system of leaves and branches which are formed by the growing buds. Like roots and trunks, branches grow in length from growth cells that make up the meristematic tissues which are contained in the growing buds. Meristematic tissue inside that growing bud makes your branches grow. Okay? This limb and branch bud growth determines a tree crown shape, size, and height. The tree crown's central and terminal leaders grow from a bud cell called the apical meristem, which determines the tree's height. So now we have a guy in there that's I'm in charge of how tall my tree's gonna grow. I am the apical meristem of this tree. Remember, not all buds contain these tiny leaves. Some buds contain tiny preformed flowers, or both leaves and flowers. The buds may be terminal, which means they're at the very end, or they can be lateral, which means that they're formed on the sides of stems, or usually at the base of a leaf. That, my friends, is our tree hugger report for today. We talked about how trees grow and develop, and then we spent a little bit of time talking about their root system, their trunks, and their leafy crown. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I learned a couple of things. And thanks for letting me share that this morning. Let's do a true or false, okay? I want to do a true or false, and I want to get another person ready for the board. We need to get people for the board. I never saw Tree Hugger 101 class. There you go. Thanks. I love trees. We haven't seen I Losty this morning. Has anybody seen I Lost? No? Okay, hold on. Let me do this. Okay. I'm a freak too, Frosta. More and more and more. The more I microdose, the more I love trees. Okay. Nobody has seen I Lost you this morning? Well, I lost him. That's all there is to it. I'll hold his prize. I'll hold his prize till the next time we see him. Let's do this. I'm going to do a true or false. I'm going to read 3 statements. At the end of those 3 statements, you're going to say on one line using a T's and F's, you're going to say if those statements were true or false. Here we go. The capital of Germany is Berlin. True or false? The capital of Germany is Berlin. A blizzard is a sandstorm also. A blizzard can be a sandstorm. And number 3, the capital of the capital of Russia is Moscow. The capital of Russia is Moscow. Go. What are our answers? We're going to say Rick Small. Rick Small, you got it correct. And the first person on my screen. The answers are true, false, true. The answers are true, false, true. The capital of Germany is Berlin. A blizzard cannot be a sandstorm. It's a blizzard. And the capital of Russia is Moscow. So the answers were true, false, true. Rick, not looking too small right now. When we do our spin, you're going to be number 2, Rick. I'm giving you a number 2. All right? I'm going to do the giveaway right now because we're going to still do one more. Let me get one more person for the spin to win round. Here's how we're going to do it. We're doing numbers. You don't have to know anything. You just have to guess a number between 1 and 50. You get to guess 3 of them. You can get up to 3 of them on your line, on one line at the same time, between numbers 1 and 50. The first person on my screen that I see that got the number correct, that hasn't won lately, will move forward to the spin to win round. And I've already got that answer. It's RX1s. RX hasn't won in a while. RX said 11. RX, the answer was 11. RX, you just moved forward to the spin to win round. Okay? We like giving stuff away to RX out there too. RX, here we go. I'm putting your name down on the spin to win. You're number 3. He specifically, RX likes when we use the lid spinner. Okay? He specifically likes when we use the lid spinner. So here we go. Lid spinning. Number 1 was King Metro. Number 1 is King Metro. Number 2 is Rick Small. And number 3 is RX. Right there. He's an artist and a musician too, by the way. All right, here we go. Number 1, King Metro. King Metro. King Metroplex. King, what'd you win? You won what we've been giving away this week. King. Go, King. King, these are ghosts right here. These are iceberg right here. And these right here are ape. There's over 2 grams each in these. The total is over 7 grams total here. Let me label those real quick before we forget. King, are you even here or did you have to take off? I'm not sure King's even still here. King, I need an address from you at The DetroitMushLab.net. Oh, there he is. He's still there. Okay, bro. Send me your address at the DetroitMushLab.net, and I'll send this out to you next. The final thing that we're going to give away here, hang in here. I want to give one more thing away to you guys. And it's going to be this guy right here. All right. We want to give that guy away. Right there. So be thinking about that while we think about something more important. Self-improvement. Can I do a daily reading with you guys right now? It's going to take about 15 minutes. And then we'll give that guy away. Can I do a daily reading with you guys? And then we're going to give that Giganto squat away. Okay? It is a Melmac squat. You guys are very, very smart with your strains. Good job. I'm going to do a reading with us this morning. This is a book written, it's called How to Be Love. And then a D afterwards, loved. How to be love and how to be loved. Pretty neat. It's written by a guy named Humble the Poet. Humble the Poet. And I've been going through this quite a bit. Here's Humble. Right here. And I've been going through it, and there's some of the chapters are just a little too long for us to study together in one day here. But when I do you guys mind if I read this? Honestly. Let me show you something. I'll show you that after. It's beautiful. Perfect. Perfect is the enemy of love. Boy, we could stop right there. Perfect is the enemy of love. Some of you could start the preaching right there, huh, Higgs? You don't have to be perfect to be loved. He goes, that's it. That's the whole chapter. I wrote the whole chapter right there. You don't have to be perfect to be loved. Boy, did we get programmed differently. We all can relate to not feeling like we're enough. Sometimes it really is debilitating, isn't it, Vegas? When we feel like we're not enough. And you didn't even do anything. You just feel it. And the world just like puts us there. And then like literally every single thing you see everywhere, every Madison Avenue, every poster, my car's not good enough because it's not as new as this one next to mine. Guy's paying $75,000 a year for his truck. I mean, for over 8 years for his truck, but I want one like it. My brother bought a Harley Davidson as a retirement present to himself. He finally retired. He went out and bought himself a Harley Davidson, one of the nicest bikes I've ever seen in my life. You know what I did? I started looking at Harley Davidsons. The fuck is wrong with you, Pops? I don't want a Harley Davidson. I had one once. I don't want that. I just want to feel like I'm good enough. My brother buys toys to feel good. Some of us haven't realized that we've been striving to be perfect before we allow ourselves to experience love. It sounds hyperbolic, but it's obvious. When every time we do something less than perfect, we get real hard on ourselves. And we label ourselves not capable, lousy, unworthy, unlovable. Once we do something and it isn't perfect, all the bells and whistles can start going off. Especially if you dare to look left or right and try to compare yourself to something or someone else that has nowhere near the gifts that you have, as you don't have theirs. Please realize that perfect is the enemy of love. Good morning to my captain. Please realize that perfect is the enemy of love. And when we scrap trying to be perfect, we also scrap feeling like a piece of garbage. What's left is an imperfect being, and that despite being imperfect, we can be loved, especially by ourselves. You know what I want to do? I'm not joking. Does this sound goofy? My brother's got like $35,000. I don't know how much. Street, he would know. How much is a brand new, beautiful Harley Davidson from heaven? Perfect bike. I want to pull up like in an old Triumph, like a 1962 Bonneville 650, something like that, in my old ratty leathers, and pull up next to whoop, 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 accidentally blow a little smoke, and hit the gas, hit the line, leave them in their dust. I want to ride an imperfect bike. Those bikes become, and those other things and those toys, they become our gods. Oh, I know, Sandy, my motorcycle's better than anybody's motorcycle. Trust me. Mine belongs in a museum. Wheelie off the line, Jeff? No, you do a wheelie later as like just when you come back by. But off the line, man, your head's tucked. You're in the, man, you're right on the bars. You're tucked. Your feet back, your feet. Oh, look around. Okay, now I can sit up a little bit and pop it. Remember that you're more than you do, Pops. See what I'm talking about, though? This is how I feel. These are all the weird feelings that came up because I didn't have a perfect motorcycle. As an example. And then you know what happens too? I'll be honest with you. I start to, what's it called when you want somebody else's stuff? What's that called? Even one of the 10 commandments tell us don't do it. Don't covet. No, we're not supposed to covet. Where it comes from is our culture. We weren't born to think this way. It comes from the nature of our culture. There are cultures out there that don't think this way. A jet ski in their squat hut would mean nothing to them. They'd rather have a water buffalo. That would be cool. But we have this different culture that we've been taught. It's not even our fault. That's why it's so easy to not take it out on yourself. This is stuff that was put on us just like sun is put on us when we go outside. It's like it suns or it rains. This is just stuff that falls on us. And unfortunately, a lot of us take baths in it. Instead of realizing it's just something that falls on me. Remember, you're so much more than what you do. Because we're a culture of hyper-productivity. Listen to what I just said. Hyper-productivity. Do you remember what I talked about the trees? How fast do they see us moving around? We are zipping from stem to stern, A to B, and do not stop. I gotta get to A faster than you can set up B. I gotta get more done. I didn't get enough done. The more I get done, the more you'll like me. The more money I'll make. Programmed into hyperactivity. Sometimes it's not productivity. Guess what starts happening? We have hyperactive relationships. When was the last time you deeply committed to a relationship and you put the time and effort into it? Or are they just hyperactive relationships? You see the guy once in a while. You have a lot more hyperactive relationships. Guess what then starts happening? Anthony knows this. Our relationship with ourselves become hyperactive. I don't even have time to sit with myself and feel my feelings. I'm just going to strike out. And then I'll be instantly gratified. We're a culture of hyper-productivity and comparing ourselves, how much we're doing and achieving to others. Even if all that doing and achieving adds little nutrition to our lives. Doer, achiever, no nutrition guy right here was. Doer, achiever, certificates, that's the money. Doer, achiever, no nutritional value. Going a little too fast to even find out if there was nutrients in it. Anthony, I love your relationship. Loving ourselves despite being imperfect is not, I repeat, is not a big stretch. Why? I'm looking for a serious answer on that, not rhetorical. Loving ourselves is not a big stretch. Why? We do it every day. There isn't one perfect person in the world, and we love other people. If I can love another imperfect person, Sandy, then I can love myself. Sandy, I wasn't calling you out, I'm just using this as an example. But no, I got to be perfect to love myself, but I can love you the way you are. Because I'm Mr. Love. It's not a big stretch to love your imperfect self. Badgie, but wait, don't call Sandy that. Watch this one. Anybody have an ugly baby nephew? Doesn't everybody think that their baby nephew, baby niece is like the cutest thing in the whole world? Has anybody ever had one that they looked at it, they said, you know what? They didn't tell the parent, but deep down inside they're going, ooh, ooh, that's going to be a rough one. Seriously, I've done that. I've never told the person, but I've looked down and go, oh man, it's a cute one. Oh man, they could have left that one at the hospital, right? Vegas, no, I've never seen an imperfect. I don't say they're not perfect. I'm just saying ugly. Some. Okay? I might have been an ugly baby. I don't know. But I've seen ugly babies. I just, you know when you see one. Do you love that niece or nephew any less? Do you? Sometimes you actually love it a little more. Look at those. I gotta feel sorry for it. You never love it any less. Because it isn't a perfect baby. Babies spit on you. Babies pee on you. You still, oh, I'm gonna hug it and love it up good. They are so imperfect. They're a wreck. How do you love something that deliberately, I take its pants off and it, oh, I love you. Let me give you a pacifier. It's proof. This is proof that we love things that are imperfect. My dog, Ruff's close to perfect, but then once in a great while he does something dumb, sneaks a snack, leaves an accident. So he is not perfect. So we know how to love imperfect things. There's no such thing as being deserving or undeserving of love. You guys are so cute. Take that back. Ruff is pretty darn close to perfect. Smartest, best dog I've ever known. There's no such thing as being deserving or undeserving of love. Because real love, think, moms, he is a pretty good guy. Anyone that knows him, like, oh, look at his boat. I have to watch out because people want to kidnap him, dog nap him. Real love isn't honoring what's perfect. It's embracing everything that's imperfect. Isn't it easy to like the perfect? Yeah, that's an automatic. Embrace the imperfect. In you first, but in everything. There is not really perfect then. Is this a good reading this morning? I have one more paragraph to go. I just have one more little paragraph. You know, in one of the rando factos that I was reading, I didn't read it to you guys today. There's a lady in England. She has not smiled laughed, or cried in 40 years by choice. For 40 years, this lady's deliberately stone-faced her face to no emotions whatsoever for one reason. She doesn't want to get wrinkles. I want my face and skin to look perfect. Street knows. Can you freaking imagine that? I'm going to live a whole life of pure, zero emotions, emoting, so I can love myself. Perfect look. The whole thing sounds so whack. And there's a lady, this is the real deal. I want to tell us, some people do that emotionally, not just physically. No, I agree, Sharon. What's the rest look like? Oh, God. Niff, laugh lines are sexy. Look at Pops's. Pops was thinking Botox one day. Watch this. Man, I'd look 10 years younger, for sure. Give me a Hollywood movie job and I might just take it. Right, Cleanie? You saw that? One more time. Look at Pops. Wow. Put a little Just for Men on there. Mom says, like, don't do it. So real life isn't honoring what's perfect. It's embracing all that's imperfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be imperfect. Here we go. I'm going to finish up with this. I love you guys. Hags, I love you, man. Have a great weekend. You are my best bud. Focusing on progress instead of perfection is sustainable. If we focus on perfection, that lady, 40 years, that's not sustainable. Just focus on progress. Focus on progress instead of perfection. That's sustainable. And it also gives us the opportunity to go deeper with the love we have. The author uses an example. I'm not super aware of this example. But is it true that at her concerts, is Beyonce known to trip and fall once in a while? I'm sincerely asking. Hey, Brock. Hey, B. Hey, Brock. People want to say happy birthday to you. Give me a second. Your friends, your many friends, they're bothering to say hello to you. Give me 1 second. I got one question to ask the pals. Is Beyonce known for being klutzy? I don't know. Because this guy ends his chapter by saying, I mean, come on. We love Beyonce despite all the falls, and we love her because she gets back up. Let's do the same for ourselves. I didn't know Beyonce fell and got back up, but if she did, congratulations, Beyonce, because that's what we do. I don't know what that ending was, but that's what it was. B, up there, guess what he's doing? Oh, yeah. You know it. Every time I turn around, that guy's up to something.
What are you talking? I don't even know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, whatever. Every time I
What?
turn around.
You know how easy it is?
Every time I. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Okay, here we go. We got all kinds of dibble dabbles. Happy birthdays
Happy
for tomorrow.
birthday.
They started saying today, they were like, say happy birthday to Brock. And I'm like, oh, heck. Don't tell me I forgot.
No, not yet.
Okay.
No,
Well,
we got all day tomorrow to forget.
they did a big deal about making sure there's a fog rolling in. They wanted to say happy birthday to you, Brock. So I think that's awfully lovely of them.
Well, thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Talk to me tomorrow. I turned 43. I thought about that earlier today. I was like, how do I tell? How old am I? Oh, just add 20 years to the year. I've been living like that for the last 21 years.
Yeah, good old 1980.
Oh man.
Yeah, the kid was born in 1980.
I'm like right on the edge of Gen X and millennials, so I have no idea what I am.
Yeah, you've always been confusing.
Thank you.
Yeah, no. You've always confused me.
And I love you guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You've confused me at many levels. Okay?
See you on Monday.
I'll see you guys Monday. Let's do our final giveaway. Happy birthday, Brock. I will sing to him tomorrow. Okay, let's do our final giveaway. I'm going to pick 3 people. 3 people. The 3 people that come closest without going over. Wait, because I don't know it yet. Okay? But we're going to put this guy on the scale. And the closest without going over. I'm going to pick 3 of you. Go. 3 of you. And you're going to move forward to a spin to win round to win that. Okay? Okay. Without going over. I'm going to pick 3 of you that are the closest without going over. Okay, I've got 3. I'm going to stop with those 3. I'm going to tell you who they are. Derek Anderson. Well, let me show you what the answer is first. Let me show you what the answer is. The answer is 9.23. Derek Anderson. I believe you were somewhere around an 8.8. You were somewhere around an 8.8, were you not? How big a piece of fruit is that? That's like 4 of those would make an ounce. More, less, 3.5. Derek Anderson, Mushmouth was number 2. And number 3 was Mark Zamaron. Mark Zamaron was number 3. We have Derek Anderson's going to be number 1. Mushmouth is going to be number 2. And Derek Anderson is going to be number 3. Here we go. Number 1, Derek Anderson. Number 2, Mushmouth. And number 3, Mark Z. Derek Anderson. Derek Anderson. Congratulations, Derek. Derek is a real good friend of the show and of the nonprofit organization, so I don't hesitate to send that to Derek for one moment. Well deserved. Derek, please send me your address at the DetroitMushLab.net, and I'll send this 9.23 bomb out to you, and then you can have ethical issues as to what you ever do with this. Most people would take it, store it forever. Other people would start taking bites out of it. You guys have a great weekend. Thank you for being here. I think we had a nice week. all in all, we had a really nice week and did a lot of good loving and giving. Thank you, especially for being my friend. Seriously, thanks for being Brock's friend, too. You guys, I need to tell you, this is a guy that 2 years ago, not a thing happening that made it advancing forward. And you guys can see a big difference. I do. So he's handling stuff that is his physical stuff. He's taking care of some of his disability issues and not using and boozing the way we might have. Love it. Thank you for that. It's a sincere support that I can mention the day before his birthday. Okay, so peace, love, and he puts his time into to love you guys and do what he can. We can all do better though, right? Laura Divine, we can all do better. I can. Let's get better. But we're not perfect. We're progress. Have a great weekend. I love you guys. I'll see you Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday next. Have a great weekend, and be kind to your family, to your friends, and to yourself. Love just the way they are. Laura and Sandy and B. Hendricks and Sharon and Badgie. Go listen to the Trees and CCS and Ruggie and Carlotta. That's what's amazing. You're right. And our kids get advantage of it too, don't they, Carlotta? And Vegas, thank you. And Nippy and Alan and Jesus Christ in Australia. And Satterwolf and Rasta, thank you, Rosti. And Herbie Von Werby Kebab, and Mikey and Bill D and Nerdy. And Mark Zamaron and Ego and Nippy and Rugman. And Daniel and Sharon and D. Anderson and SSW. And Jonathan K. and Mush Mouth, Mouthy Mush. And Mike Barry Ball and Jimmy Max. Hi, Jim. And Bubblegum Kelly. Whoa, hi, Kelly. Carlotta, yeah, my girl. Ricky and Ruggy and Saskamo Joe and Wesley Smokey and Smoke 'em if you got 'em, Sandman. And Shy Introvert and Mycology and Jesus Christ. Jesus takes a flying wing all the way to Rasta Health. Next thing you know, Clean Girl and Carlotta Melton and Mark Zamarin are bringing up the inside. Holly Rugman and Ruth Sadri, they're bringing out the outside. Carlotta's got a snail trail. Sometimes we call that hair care. And then Shy Introvert and Mary and Pagey. And Sharon's in first. Jolie's passing her up, though. Holly Mike and City. Jesus Christ and Mark Zamaron. King Metroplex is trying to find a way in. Holly M and Niffy. Pilar and Ruggy. Popsy, out. Be kind and love one another. Out.